Hello and welcome to episode 2 of TEW 2020 AEW. It is me, John, with from Out of Nowhere Gaming. Let's get into the show. We start off the show with a decent match. Adam Page and Kenny Omega defeated Primo and Epico in 1748 when Hangman Page pinned Epico Cologne with the Adam's Apple. Adam Page and Kenny Omega make defense number 4 of the AEW World Tag Team titles. In terms of in-ring work, Kenny Omega was head and shoulders above everyone else. An 86 for Omega, a 65 for Page, a 48 for Epico, and a 51 for Primo. So, Primo and Epico have debuted. Kenny Omega benefited from having a groundswell of public support. Legendary gimmick for Hangman Page. Great gimmick for Omega. Kenny Omega and Adam Page are in the ring after defending their AEW Tag Team Championships. Omega gets a mic and he goes off on a rant about Pac, Pentagon, and Phoenix. Hangman Page and myself are not a joke. Just wait. Pentagon, Phoenix, at Fighter Fest, me and Page, we're gonna show you what a joke looks like. And then the Young Bucks are on the screen and they're backstage. They're just having a little conversation about nothing. But in the middle of their talk, the camera feed starts getting little glitch effects. And once those glitch effects end, the word revolt shows up on the screen. And that got a 77. And then in a terrible match, Nyla Rose beat Shanna in 333 by submission with a camel clutch. 39 for Nyla Rose, a 20 for Shanna. A pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Shanna. And then the bunny instructs the Jurassic Express to pay attention to this next match because they're going to need all the help that they can get at Fighter. Yeah, my angles are pretty generic, but and about that had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. The Blade defeated SEMA in 732 by pinfall with a neckbreaker. A 50 for the Blade and a 55 for SEMA. They have good chemistry and it lifted the match, and it got the crowd hotter. And then we go into a 72. Matt Hardy comes down the ramp with a mic and he enters the ring. I have arrived here on AEW Dynamite after my premonition, after the destruction that awaits this place. I do not yet know who is responsible for this destruction. 7 deities have instructed me that tonight is where my search must begin. Yows. TJ Perkins comes out to interrupt. He's dumbstruck by Matt Hardy. What the hell are you even talking about, Matt? 7 deities? Premonition? Destruction? The only destruction that happens around here is when I get in that ring. Matt Hardy worked the crowd well, and TJP did a masterful job of improvising interactions with the crowd. And then Matt Hardy beat TJ Perkins in 1404 by pinfall with a twist of fate. It got a 67 rating, a 53 for Matt Hardy, and a 65 for TJ Perkins. And then we go into our next AEW TNT tournament match. And about that had good heat and decent wrestling. Darby Allin defeated Jimmy Havoc in a hardcore match in 12:23 by pinfall with a coffin drop. Jimmy Havoc with a 63 and Darby Allin with a 62. The announcing quality lifted the match, and Darby Allin benefited from having a groundswell of public support. And then John Moxley shows up backstage. No one expected him to be here after last week. He was injured by Chris Jericho, Ortiz, and Santana, but here he is. He shows up backstage and he is angry. He eventually runs into Ortiz and Santana, who he just, they're nothing to him. Jericho and the surprise attack last week was all that really made them get the advantage over him last week. The announcing quality lifted the segment. Moxley benefited from having a groundswell of public support, and the performance of Moxley was good. And then Spears is trying to calm down Moxley. He's not listening. He hits Spears in the face and he starts throwing him around the hallways. Jay McMahon walks by and he tells him to go to the ring if they're finished messing up the backstage area. Moxley improvised well, Spears improvised well. Blanchard helped Spears during the segment, and Moxley benefited from a groundswell of public support. Huh. I mean, he's he helped you in that segment. Okay. And about that had great heat and good wrestling, John Moxley beat Shawn Spears in 13:34 by pinfall with a Death Rider. John Moxley with a 90 and Shawn Spears with a 49. The announcing quality lifted the match. Shawn Spears would be better off without Tully Blanchard. They simply don't work well together. I'll fix that. Moxley benefited from having a groundswell of public support, and that was a 74. And so now we finished the show, and we got a 74 rating overall. Our popularity increased in 17 regions overall. That was a pretty good show. I made some more signings in between this episode and the last episode. So I hired Jordan Grace, and I'm waiting for Maria Kanellis to sign. And just in case anybody's interested, I'm going to show the creative screen quickly. In franchise players, Chris Jericho is number 1, Omega's 2, Cody is 3, Moxley is 4. Next big things, we've got Tony Storm, Darby Allin, Leo Rush, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy are our next big things. Our hot prospects are Tony Storm, Leo Rush, Darby Allin, Ray Phoenix, and Sammy Guevara. Talk to talk, we've got Chris Jericho, MJF, Cody, Jake Roberts, and Enzo Amore. I'm kind of surprised Matt Hardy's not on this list, to be honest. And showstoppers, we have Omega, Jericho, Pentagon, Pac, Page. Ring generals, we have Omega, Skrull, Kazarian, Daniels, Pac. Who's hot? We have Omega, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Pentagon, and Phoenix. And then who's not? Havoc, Kazarian, Daniels, Stevens, and MJF. And then in our hidden gems, we got Jake South, Nicole Matthews, Ricky Starks, Ross Van Erich, and Logan Creed. I might bring in one or two of these people. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm thinking about bringing in Jake South, but I'm not for sure. And that is episode 2 of my AEW series on TEW.